What is going on, everybody? It is me, OC Steve, trying this out yet again. Please, thanks for watching and subscribing, as always. So I just wanted to shed a light on some people that are doing great work in the geek community, or the geekosphere, or the geekverse for that matter. And I've been backing their campaigns too successfully this year. So I wanted to invite them on. Eric and Lori from Laguna Studios. They do phenomenal merch. They produce books. They're active in their own local community in the greater San Antonio area. So without further ado, let's bring them on. Let's talk. Let's have a little Geekiverse chat and get to know them a little bit better.
Yay.
Welcome, guys. Hey. Welcome to the show. Thank you for your time. I know that you are fulfilling campaigns feverishly. So appreciate you guys carving some time to talk and have a little geek chat here today.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah, we're just surrounded with projects right now. You can't see them. We're on the one wall that's actually like a garage wall. The other three are completely just studio comics, books. Now this morning we did get part of our Enter the Hoodieverse campaign for these. We did get the stickers and the early bird magnets.
Yes.
Which is pretty exciting when your stuff shows up. You know, it's different. It hits different when it's yours. We get packages all the time, and it's like, oh, it's not exciting. It's just somebody else's stuff. But then when it's yours, you're like, oh, this is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, fulfilling other people's stuff is fun, but not as fun.
Yeah. And I guess it's kind of like the different stages of like having a campaign baby. Like you're starting out with like the idea, the concept, and it's all like kind of that pre-part, and then it's launching the campaign, and then actually physically seeing the product that was kind of in your mind's eye that has come to exist, I would say, right?
Yeah, well, you skip the part where you sit there during the campaign and feverishly reload hundreds of times a minute to check on it and make sure
it's funded and funding and.
But yes,
like, yeah, the X series. First hoodie, that one right there, that was just randomly thought up while I was waiting for clients at the gym I used to own. People didn't show up all the time, trainer. And I was like, it'd be cool. I was just thinking, just to myself, just thinking about X-Men 97 and stuff. And I was like, it'd be cool to have like Cyclops' jacket, his field jacket that he wore, that, Professor X was like, oh man, make sure you take your jacket, Scott, before you leave. And he has to put his jacket on over his uniform. And he's always looking like the kid on Halloween. And his mom made him wear the jacket and it ruins his outfit. But then it became cool.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, I was like, that was my very first hoodie was based on Scott's jacket there from the 97. I think I sent you a picture of that one, Steve. The kind of like just brown and tan. It was zip up and it was just the original. It just had the X logo. That got made into that bomber jacket there on the right and left. But yeah, I just showed Lori and I was like, I'll do a Gambit and Wolverine and see how it looks. And then it just kind of spiraled out of control from there. And I did the team, and then we're like, well, let's see how these go. And then it was funded within like an hour. And I was like, well, crap. I think my only other one I had lined up was Havoc.
Yeah.
Like for that, and it was just so then it was just immediately there. I was like, I got time to design stuff. No, it's funded. Like 20 minutes later, I'm like, well, Lori's like, what's the next hoodie? I'm like, I don't know. Let's just start putting
figure this out.
And so
it was a good problem to have at the time, and that was one of the things being a backer with Backerkit that I liked was the interactive component. So you felt like you were in the conversation, and especially how responsive the both of you were during the time of the campaign was really cool. And I know I can be a stickly kind of dude, and I was mentioning some stuff along the way with like cable, aka cord. Yeah, it's a cable into a certain degree on where his his cybernetic eye was and things like that. So. Or not having too many X logos for like Colossus or big giant metal dude.
No, it was good to have that too, because I think in the original animated series, didn't they screw up his eye? Like, didn't they put it on the wrong side?
The initial ones, they weren't just really in sync. They were just kind of hitting the ground running when they started the initial X-Men animated series. And there was a lot where they're just like grabbing stuff from the shelf and throwing it here, throwing it there, trying to put it together. And like, they didn't even really address that Cable was a mutant to begin with.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like this mercenary that shows up on Genosha for no rhyme or reason. And the same with a couple of the mutants that were there on Genosha, like Sunspot. Like,
yeah,
like,
didn't they have like in the background too? What's his name? That super powerful guy, the Exodius?
Yeah, Exodus. Yeah.
Exodus, yeah.
Yeah. So you have like a super Omega level powered mutant that was like the big dude. It just in the background, just for no reason. Like, there you go. Like, that was
he got picked up because of his he parked wrong, and that's why he's on Genosha now. You know.
Yeah. He just was at the wrong place. He went to a Genosha timeshare. They promised him some. They promised him some Disney World tickets.
Yeah,
and somehow he wound up there, like using his latent mutant powers to build dams and wells and the infrastructure. Yeah, like
the John Travolta meme where he's like looking around.
Yeah, like what's happening?
Hey, I'm just here. But I was a backer. I enjoyed it that much that you guys were really paying attention to the people that were involved in the campaigns and along the way. Having the voting polls to figure out what the next hoodie was and that progression, just dug it. I really enjoyed the fact that you guys were passionate about it, and that shows. And the quality of what came here, I enjoy too. Like, a lot of times you can get sublimation and it's like barely faded or maybe a little transparency, or if they, depending on what the hoodie is, it feels like you're wearing a parka that doesn't breathe.
Sure. And, there's lots of
and that's what I enjoyed about these hoodies is they're very lightweight. I live in Southern California, so it's 40 degrees, so people are already in their parkas, but I'm okay because I have a little more insulation than the average bear. But I wore this very easily to San Diego Comic-Con and didn't feel like I was like dying or just like wringing it out with sweat the entire time. So it was actually cool. Bumping in the artist alley, meeting Dan Vesemir. That guy, it was the storyboard artist for X-Men, the original series. Cool. Yeah. And he was doing artwork and he was doing some stuff inspired for 97. And I got there at the booth right there in the morning, and lo and behold, the showrunner, Bo DeMeo, was there, and he was digging it. And you could tell he was a little hungover, which is kind of
from the celebration of the successful show.
So. You're eating well. Your series did well. You've had some good stuff. And he was joking. I was wearing a Cyclops visor, and he's like, well, let me put my glasses on too, because I'm hungover as fuck. So let's put those on. We took a photo. Dan's just kind of sitting there like, these guys are taking a photo in front of my booth, like taking up real estate.
That's amazing.
It's those fun experiences, but this is what I enjoy about your guys' designs, because it's not like a blatant in your face little carbon copy of the costume. It's more inspired. And so from afar, it looks cool. It looks kind of athletic, like the Wolverine design. But from, you get up close and you're like, okay, that's an X-Men thing. I get with that. And so I think that's a testament to your guys' designs, that it's just you're trying to mimic what everybody else is doing at the moment.
Yeah, because there's like a lot of them. I was doing research. It's like all these that we had are just like their costume. They were just printed on the costume exactly how it was. They just took it and then slapped it on. There wasn't any like tweaking of it to kind of get it to feel like a real person. A real person could wear this and not just look crazy like they're like pretending to be something they're not. It's just
it had an athletic design is what I digged about it too. And I think that goes into a lot of you having that gym background when you were making the designs. Like I if I'm not mistaken, some of the initial stuff while you were still at the gym was like Gambit inspired gear, where it was more like the pants and maybe like a top or something like that.
It's like the colors and the shapes really is just kind of just where you have to kind of look. It's like just see that Rogue is like, there is maybe 40% of her outfit, but the colors are actually color dropped out of a comic book. Out of one of my 94s, I color dropped her, like the palette they used, which helped with all of that. And just kind of just looking at it, and making it read well, but not too similar. I had plenty of designs that started off as carbon copies. And I was like, okay, I needed to see it on the template of the actual thing to see how it would read and what to omit and what to add to it. Because it just, when you're just looking at it on a comic book page, you're like, will it work? I don't know. It's painted on his body. Like,
right.
You know, you can see every single ab and vein through their outfit. So
and a belly button.
And yeah, there's a belly button. You're like, Jesus.
And that's the other thing I like is that you guys didn't like build in the muscles or any of that.
I thought that was
shadow tone that's always kind of ridiculous on a larger size guy. And you're like, no, I don't have an 8-pack. I have a keg. I'm okay with it. But at the same time, I don't need to look like I'm like Always Sunny in Philadelphia and I'm like shadow tanning 6-packs on myself at the age of 40. You know, I want to be able to put on a hoodie, go to the comic book store and just like geek out a little bit and not to the point where it's like, oh, he's really trying to compensate for something.
Yeah. Like, it's, you know, you don't want to like judge people and do all that. But I don't know. If I saw some dude in a full Wolverine regalia just walking down the street, I'd be like, that's cool. But I don't want to go talk to him. I don't want to see him. Like it's you know,
it's a little awkward, maybe.
But at least like this way, it's like Adidas inspired. So like I said, from afar, it looks like just like you're wearing like an athletic top, like nothing too crazy. You're just wearing some loungewear. You're just hanging out, having a good time, you know. But if, like I said, as you get closer, you notice the finer details, like the tiger striping layout. The shoulders design, the actual cowl incorporated design that's on the inside of the hood, things of that nature. Like I like honestly like still the Nightcrawler or Blue Bamf, as we affectionately call it in this neck of the woods for, you know, CNR purposes. That layout is just clean. It's clean all the way through. And like I said, from afar, nobody's going to really notice what it is.
Yeah. And I kind of like doing the hidden stuff inside the hood because people can't see it when it's on your head and people can't see it when it's underneath. So like the printing on the hood, like Nightcrawler's face is just like, it's kind of, I just did that it's for the, whoever bought it, you know, like Cable's eye is in the hood. I mean, you have the Deadpool and you saw the hidden little love letter to, Logan in there, you know,
which funny enough looks like it came straight like art-wise from the production of the movie. Like it didn't even skip a beat. Like if you notice the popcorn box or bucket that came out in designs like that, it emulated it well. So I don't know if you were just tapping into the ether at the time or the zeitgeist, whether it be of Wolverine and Deadpool.
It was pretty funny the way I did that because I have a habit of overworking everything until I ruin it. And so what I did with that little Easter egg design, I put a 45-second timer on and I was like, I got to draw Wolverine in 45 seconds. And then that's what came out. And I was like, it has to be unhinged and it has to be stupid looking. So I need this. And I was like, okay, I got the Wolverine. Now I got to Deadpool it up. Deadpool loves Wolverine, you know, XO, kissy mark.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and you got to think like this would piss Wolverine off so much and it's perfect.
Yeah.
And then I don't think we showed that on the campaign. Nobody saw that until
they got it.
Until they ordered their Deadpool hoodie, which was like, I kind of like doing that for just
Easter eggs. Yeah. It's always like a pleasant surprise as a backer when somebody does that. It's kind of like the post-credit scenes to being active in a campaign.
Yeah.
And then the other things I wanted to talk about is, aside from the hoodies, which is what was my draw into Laguna at a larger scale, was you guys are putting out a book. You're putting out multiple books. And I was going to have Lori kind of talk about where you're at with Surgeon, because that's something that's kind of caught my eye.
Ooh, yeah. Surgeon's a good one.
Yeah. So the Surgeon is going to be now our first series that's in comic stores, being distributed by Diamond. We have 6 issues and we're actually working on more, which I haven't really announced anywhere. So this is probably the first time anybody's hearing that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's basically, you know, post-apocalypse Western, post-apocalypse, that's a mouthful, samurai Western, you know, a doctor has to kind of unfortunately has to learn how to kill, and she's spending more time killing than she is healing because of the nature of the world in the apocalypse.
Which I dug. I dug the duality of this character that is meant for a larger purpose, that it wants to heal the world, but at the same time is burdened with the fact that she kind of gets stuck into these situations where her back's against the wall and she has to kill begrudgingly.
Yeah, and because of how knowledgeable she is with human anatomy, it unfortunately makes her very good at killing. So unfortunately.
I got a nurse at home, my wife, and I joke that she can heal, but if I piss her off, that
it's
she knows what to do.
Yeah,
right.
Like they studied human anatomy to make them better killing machines. So it's cool that she knows. It's like, okay, well, this is where I need to slash a man to put him down in 10 seconds.
Yeah, and John Pants, who is the creator, he is I don't know the word. I guess anal is the best word. He is extremely OCD about details in terms of like the martial arts, the anatomical hits, the violence. Like, it's all very deliberate. He does a lot of like videos for the artist where he has his kids basically beat the crap out of him in the way that he wants her to do it. It's amazing working with him. It's a really fun series to work on. And yeah, now we're actually working on like an offshoot series. Hanover, the Doctor, is still the main character, but it's you guys will see.
Yeah, we don't want to give away too much, but there's a few pages already done and being colored, and it's going to be officially announced soon.
I think that would be some good bonus content to see those previs of the kids kind of going at it just for like tongue in cheek, just to see like almost see like how the sausage is made, so to speak.
For sure.
Yes, I'm sure John would be happy to send me some of those because.
That just sounds humorous as all get out, especially when you watch like movies and stunt teams like try to figure something out, and they have like this pre-concept and eventually how it evolves into what it becomes, in a movie, but actually on the page for the viewer to check it out.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool seeing like the care taken for like accuracy in something like this, like
with the guns, with the swords.
Yeah, just this like, oh, well, that guy right there is using this type of gun and it would only have this many rounds in it. So
what? No infinite ammo?
Yeah. So, it's actually like if you look at the panels and you would like count like the blams, it's like, oh, wow, it's actually the amount of bullets that would be in that particular model of firearm or whatever they're using. Or
that, and the detail to the weapons and things like that is really neat because, I mean, we're all kids of the 90s. We watched guns look like vacuum cleaners. So, so to actually have some detail that's kind of real life accurate versus something that looks like a G.I. Joe Nerf plasma gun, just because you can draw muscles, you can draw figure, you can draw shape, but when it comes down to like this, there's a guy literally pointing that, and it looks like a super soaker. Like, kind of takes you out of it as the reader.
I mean, Rob made a career out of just drawing guns. Like, it's like Rob Liefeld like draws his guns like a 5-year-old would describe a gun. He's like, okay, tell me what it looks like.
It's bulky.
Right.
It's big.
Okay. Give it the cable. Cool. Where does he put it? Who cares?
In his pouches. More pouches.
Yeah.
Pouches
He's
everywhere.
Like, sorry, Farrell, you can't come because my gun is in your seat.
The gun is the seat.
Yeah.
That's like absolute Batman right now. So,
but yeah, it's actually like I kind of do the same thing on our Heart Eater series, the Sexy Pirate one, because we don't give that much guidance because that's going to be more like fantasy style. But I kind of want to keep the object realism and then have the characters be the unreal thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
Like we had a panel where it was awesome action scene, everything's going on, but the artist made Kimona, that's our main character, fire her gun twice, and I was like, well, there's no way she has a flintlock and she's in the middle of battle with swords and
just
fire.
sitting there, just like
there's
putting
no
the
way.
ball
So
in, the powder in.
we had
Wait a minute.
Be like, hey, And then she ended up doing something cool where she added another panel in where she took another dude's gun and then added that, and then the original panel she turned around and blasted the dude, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're just like kind of like we want people to not complain about that and just focus on like the fantasy of the action, because there's always when someone's like, oh well, that gun would never do it, but at the same time they're totally cool with, you know, the Kraken being the size of huge, and they're complaining about the gun, and you're like dude, there's a werewolf here, and you're talking about, oh well, he fired 6 rounds and he only had 5 left, and but there's a fucking werewolf, and you're not addressing the werewolf.
Excuse me, sir. On panel 5, if I may.
Yeah.
Like, just enjoy the ride.
And just kind of like figuring that out and doing that kind of stuff is always like the fun parts.
Yeah.
But
And that's not stuff I would think of. So
that's what I enjoy about you guys, is that you keep the emphasis of wanting to bring something that you haven't seen or something that doesn't exist and bringing it out to the market for other geeks to have. Like, seriously, these hoodies, love them. I'm looking forward to my Spider-Verse hoodies. My wife enjoys her Spicy Nuggets, which is her Phoenix hoodie. She gets compliments for that all the time. It was kind of like an early gift by getting those hoodies from you guys, and just the quality. I mean, to be a merch nerd, metal aglets.
Oh yeah,
is like, you know, that is a nice little. If you buy geek merch, and sometimes you have smaller little critters around the house that love to chew on these things left and right, like we do, death below the knees with a Pomeranian, metal aglets are a godsend that they don't rip up your stuff. So that, knowing that you guys are local here in the United States, you're keeping geeks working, fulfilling, doing your own things too. But the last thing I wanted to bring home is, aside from all that, besides fulfilling campaigns and doing that stuff, you're active in your own community, and you put on geek events where you just want people to come out and have a good time.
yeah.
So,
well, first I want to give full credit to Crystal for that, because Crystal Duran is the one who set that all up, and she's the event master.
Yeah, and she's like our kind of like social media manager, and she like put this entire thing together. Like, she's just like, hey, can we do this? And we're like, what a good idea. Yes, tell us what you need. And then so she's been orchestrating that while we've been trying to run the campaigns and keep everything afloat here. So we're really looking forward to that. That venue's really, really fun, really cool, really open, and
Thirsty Camel.
Yeah, we're just hoping like a lot.
That's a great name on top of everything else.
Yeah. We're looking forward to a lot of people showing up and like showing us their costumes and stuff.
Yeah, and I know I think, I'm not going to guarantee it, but I am pretty sure Matt Frank is going to come. He said he's coming back from Japan a couple of days before that. He's doing Tokyo Comic-Con and crazy shit, but he said he's going to try to make the party.
So that's like
with us.
The official like Godzilla comic book artist. You know, we're not. So he's going to be there.
Yeah.
As well. So
yeah, we're hoping to see lots of people.
If anyone wants to talk Godzilla to one of the biggest Godzilla guys in the industry, he'll probably
he would enjoy that. Oh, we also it's not on that flyer, but there should be someone there dressed as Kimona, dressed as Heart Eater.
Yeah,
as well. So
there you go. You get to physically see your real life product. It cosplayed out, modeled out.
Mm-hmm.
And then the question is, for this event, what are your cosplays?
I don't know yet. I haven't had time to think about it.
Like, I mean, seeing as how my current hair and sideburns are, I'll probably end up going as Professor Xavier.
Okay, just shave it all off.
Yeah, I'm tired of it. Just
bucket of nair. Just
shave it off. I'll go to
Okay.
Because you did if I'm not mistaken, you did an Avatar kind of Korra one at one time, Lori.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I should do something like that again, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm probably just going to end up being in one of the X series with hair actually done up and
probably
cleaned up a little bit and looking like that, and kind of just I'll probably be maybe brown suit. Brown.
Yeah.
Brown Badger? Classic Badger?
Yeah,
Yes,
classic Badger.
Classic Badger.
Yeah, I'm not, the X-Force Badger is cool, but it's not as recognizable.
There's only 2 in circulation. That's a very limited run.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly. So
very exclusive.
yeah, you can't wear it in the sun. You don't want it to fade. It's get dust on it. You know, pizza sauce. You don't want to do any of that.
That's true.
But
I mean,
that's the emphasis of these hoodies. And eventually, from what I've understood, that's the evolution, is that you guys really want to port from Backerkit to a more favorable system. And that's kind of where
an online
you're looking
store.
That would be great.
Yeah, my friend
have our own pre-order.
Yeah, my friend's been just telling me online store at least once a day. He just sits there and tells me online store, man.
I don't know who that is.
You're doing it wrong. I'm like,
I don't know.
I know.
Money in your hand, not waiting for the campaigns to end. It ports right over. No surveys. People are already picking their survey, their style and their size, and it's donezo.
Yeah, and then that's it. I mean, we still have I think like 15 people that haven't filled out. So if you're watching, stop watching, go fill out your survey.
Just fill out the survey. I want to get my hoodies. I'm selfish.
I mean, if you have filled out your survey, your stuff is ordered, and you're going to be getting it before all those other people did, because we don't know what they want.
Yeah.
So,
well, I like to keep these short, sweet, to the point, under 30 minutes. I've been keeping track of the clock as we've been going on. So I value your guys' time post Turkey Day with everything going on. And I wish you guys the best. This was just a trial run to see what we could do and collab and get together. And more importantly, let people know who you are, what you guys are about. And when we got stuff to say, or if there's something that's going on in the larger geekosphere or sphere or geekverse, whatever the hell you want to call it, I would be more than happy to have you guys come back on here so we can chat, and also let people know what's going on in the Laguna Studios neck of the woods there in San Antonio.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, and or maybe we could also do start planning your post-con SDCC.
I'm gonna have to set up a Zelle. I know you were excited about that. Keep in mind, I'm going Sunday. That is the low pop day. So most of the goodies are already gone. But as always, it's more than just being a backer. It was along the way. And one of the things to be very cliche with it being Thanksgiving, I'm thankful for both of your guys' friendship. It's one thing to be a backer, but it's another thing to get on here and celebrate you guys. And just me and you, Eric, once a day, just DMing each other for shits and giggles, just having fun along the way. But letting people know who you guys are, what you're about, and hopefully getting the Laguna word out so bigger and better things for you in 2025.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate it, and we're looking forward to being back on as soon as we can.
Yeah.
And thanks everybody for watching. If you're catching this on a refeed, please, give it a thumbs up. We want to get this up in the algorithm. The links for Laguna and all their stuff is below. And I'll catch you on the next video. Have a good one, and we'll catch you later.
Take care.